Imagine that you were arrested and tried for multiple felony crimes and later sentenced to 65 years in prison. Would you be terrified of what might happen to you when you were in prison, when you were locked up, like how you would ever survive? But yesterday, I was outside on my power walk and I had my headphones in. I was listening to my favorite podcast and I heard this incredible story. It was so powerful. I wanted to come on here and share it with you today. So, this man was convicted of multiple nonviolent felonies, sentenced to 65 years in prison. And immediately after his sentencing, he was returned to jail where he waited for the prison bus to come get him about 2 months later. And his cellmates were there talking to him like, look, man, you got to join a gang. You've got to get protection when you're on the inside, right? It's a must for your survival. Now, you got to pledge loyalty to one of the Aryan Brotherhood gangs, one of the Aryan gangs, because you're white, right? One of the white gangs. But this man had made a promise. He had made a vow to his mother that he would go independent and refuse to join a gang on the inside, restrain himself from the temptation of getting any prison or gang affiliated tattoos. So they told him, you're crazy. Your only choice is to get in and get protection. But there was this one older man, a wiser man, who had been around and he had simply been listening and observing. And this wiser man told him that if he didn't want to line up with a gang and he really wanted to be independent, that he'd have to be like a coffee bean. He said, the first thing that's going to happen when you get in there is that the white gangs are going to try to recruit you because you're white. You're going to have to fight them. All of them. And you don't just have to win every fight, you just got to fight every fight. And when you get through all of the white gangs, you're going to have now to fight all of the black gangs because they're all going to have free reign on you. You don't have any protection, right? So you're going to have to fight every single fight and you don't have to win all of them either. But if you can survive all of that, okay, all of that, you're going to earn the right to walk alone, to be independent. And the strongest man in prison always walks alone. He says the truth about fighting all these fights is that you don't have to win them all. Hell, you don't have to win any of them, but you got to fight all of them. And he went on to say, imagine that prison is a pot of boiling water. Anything you put into this pot is going to be changed by the heat and the pressure inside the pot. All right. We're going to put three things in. And let's watch how they change: a carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean. The carrot goes into the pot of boiling water hard, right? Hard throughout, inside and out. But once in, it becomes soft and mushy and weak. And guys go in hard, but eventually they're broken down. The egg goes in with this hard outer shell, but inside it's soft and mushy and liquidy. And inside the boiling pot, it becomes hard throughout, including the heart. But the coffee bean is the change agent. It goes into the boiling water and it turns that boiling water into coffee. It changes that pot of boiling water into a pot of coffee. He said, change the prison around you, but don't let it change you. You know, this story got me thinking. We're all in one kind of boiling pot of water or another. And if you're an entrepreneur like me, you know that starting and building a business is like being thrown into a pot of boiling water. It's scary. It's stressful. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of heat. There's a lot of pressure. You don't know how you're going to survive it, right? And we have three choices as to how we're going to let this pressure and this discomfort and this uncertainty and fear affect us. Now, in prison, the guy said, you're going to find more eggs because the egg is the natural evolution of most humans when they're inside of a stressful situation. And in network marketing and entrepreneurship, direct selling, so many humans have so much fear and face so much rejection and disappointment that instead of digging in and digging deep and working on themselves and their personal development and their mindset and their growth, they become frustrated and bitter and angry and hard. And they stop working their business. They stop trying. And even worse, maybe quit completely, right? And some special ones, they even join the anti-MLM movement. And they spend their free time completely disparaging and talking crap on our incredible network marketing profession. Now, in prison and in entrepreneurship, you'll also find many carrots, people who are hard throughout when they start, but the heat and the pressure of their environment breaks them down. They get weak, they get anxious, they get afraid, they worry what people think of them, that they're going to offend somebody. They try to please everybody, but end up pleasing no one, especially themselves. The work becomes too much for them. But a coffee bean, let's talk about that. These people do not allow the heat and the pressure of the boiling water or the environment they're in to change them. They don't give in to adversity. They don't give in to difficulty. They don't give in to weakness. They don't give in. They don't become bitter. They become better. They don't give up on themselves. They don't allow the rejection, the word no, the hardships, the doubts, the pain, the fear to deter them. This network marketer knows he or she does not have to win every fight. They just have to fight every fight. The ups and downs of being in business, the highs, the lows, they don't allow their environment to change them. These types of network marketers, these types of entrepreneurs control what they can control, which is their activity level, their mindset, and their thoughts. The coffee bean network marketer works on their mindset, which increases her confidence and independence and creates an even wider gap between being that change agent instead of allowing the environment to change her. So what kind of network marketer are you going to choose to be? The carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean? Here's what I want you to know. You are capable of getting up after every single fight. The power of the coffee bean is that its strength is inside of it, and your strength is inside of you, meaning every single no, rejection, criticism, fear, mistake, every downline that quits on you and takes an entire leg to a new company, every customer that leaves for a different product, every potential business builder who you thought was going to join you decides to go with another leader or another team completely. Whatever the fight is, just keep fighting. Remember, the strongest man in prison is the one who's independent, who walks alone because he has earned the right. He's been beaten and bloodied and earned the right to walk alone because he never gave up and he never gave in. And the strongest network marketer, the one that earns 6 or 7 or 8 figures, the entrepreneur who has that same resilience, grit, tenacity, determination, who keeps going in spite of the fear, the uncertainty, the pressure, the hardship, who keeps fighting every fight, regardless of how many wins or how many losses that they had that week, that month, that year. Your environment doesn't define you. You define your environment. Your circumstances don't define you. You define your circumstances. Today, you get to decide what you're going to be. What are you going to be? Decide to be a coffee bean. And it's more than just a metaphor. It is a call to action for all the network marketers out there. Just like a single coffee bean can transform a pot of water, each of us has the power to be the change agent in our own environment, in our own business. We have the ability and the obligation to elevate not only the success of our business and our team, but the entire professionalism of this beautiful industry. If you're ready to make that transformation, don't wait. Leave me a comment, send me a message, let me know you're ready. And if you haven't already, sign up for a free boot camp, completely free, that will change your life. The link is in the description below.